All right, so we gotta talk about the Palworld versus Pokemon controversy, and it is a controversy because even I've seen this game in passing. You can't escape from it. Even normies are streaming this game. People that have nothing to do with the anime community are streaming this game. So that's when you know that things are getting out of hand and it's gone mainstream. Now, I was actually shocked when I did my research because when I took one look at this game, I was watching a friend's live stream because everyone was doing it on YouTube. And one of my friends was doing it on Twitch, and I looked at it, and I went to do research on it. I wanted to know more, and I found out this game is in fact not a Chinese knockoff ripoff of Pokemon. The boldness of these individuals when you find out that Pocket Pair, the company that makes Palworld, is based right in Tokyo, Japan, right in Nintendo's backyard. So I have to ask the question like everyone else, why hasn't Nintendo sued them into the ground yet? Because yes, there are bases for them to sue this company into the ground. Now, everyone's going to come out the woodwork and say that why should Palworld get sued? Look, when the tagline is that this game is Pokemon with weapons, you've already answered your own question as to why they should get sued. When it's that simple, that the premise is that it's Pokemon just with this. Yeah, I've seen the designs. I've seen the grass type Cinderace. I've seen a lot of these designs that look like they changed one thing about a Pokemon, and there you go. You have a pal. And look, obviously, Digimon exists, right? And Digimon is distinct enough from Pokemon that it exists. So it's not one of those situations where this is just another show or another medium about monsters being partners with humans and battling and doing whatever. No. Palworld is a full-on ripoff. Now, I looked at this and I said it made me feel bad as a Pokemon fan and a Digimon fan. And I'm like, look at this. You know, it had this more mature tone. Like you had the character creator where you can have an adult character, a teen or an adult character, and you have this more mature atmosphere. And it looks more advanced. I'm like, this is everything that Digimon should be. Like, where is Digimon right now? Because the last thing they did was Digimon World 4 or Next Order. That was the last thing that they did. And I'm like, no, this is what Digimon should look like with this more mature feel, this mature atmosphere. But no, we get a glorified Pokemon ripoff. Now, I didn't get all into it. I've heard it has like different elements, like, oh, the pals are what, like, enslaved to humans, or they work for the humans, some kind of thing where they actually do labor in camps or whatnot, and some kind of little Fallout 4 situation, like, oh, you can assign different settlers to do different stuff in your community or whatnot. Essentially, it's basically a ripoff of Pokemon with Fallout 4 Skyrim elements, and this kind of concerns me because I look at Palworld and I look at what Pokemon has recently been doing with their games, and I'm afraid that they're going to get into the point of doing what Batman Arkham City did unknowingly. Like, Batman Arkham City inspired the woke Spider-Man game, and in turn it inspired the woke Marvel Wolverine game or whatever. So I'm worried that we might be getting to that point. I do want a Digimon game that looks and plays like Palworld, but are we quickly getting to that point where it's becoming templated and just too standard? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want that to become like the new norm. Like, oh, every game that is about Pokemon, Digimon, or some ripoff is going to be just like this, open world, with crafting ability. Like, no, come on. I don't want them to be in that narrow mold. We need more mold breakers. We don't need more fitting into the mold type of games. And I feel like that's what we're getting here with Palworld. Now, I do think that Nintendo and the Pokemon Company can learn from Palworld, because there are some things that they did that kind of like it made Nintendo look bad. One thing that I immediately enjoyed, I was watching a friend's live stream, and he was riding on this like flying dragon type. And right now, in Scarlet, in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, you can only ride the title legendary. You can only ride Koraidon. And I'm like, okay, well, in this game over here in Palworld, you can ride all the mounts. you have more than just one character you can ride. You can fly. I think you can ride across the horizon and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I want to fly on the back of my Charizard? You used to be able to do that in the handheld Pokemon games. And like, I think the 3DS era, like what happened to that? Like it's like they just said, okay, Koraidon, that's one and done. Like that's all you're gonna get. That's all you can expect. That's just it. And it's like this fake Mon game came up, and so far that seems to be the one thing that they did better. Now, from the battling perspective, I've seen some like the mob battles, like you have a lot of stuff going on screen, but nothing one-on-one that I've seen yet that looks better than Pokemon in that perspective or in that respect. But Palworld is definitely, I don't know how they're evading getting sued right now, because you would figure that Nintendo would get word about something like this and a game like this wouldn't even reach mass production. You think that Nintendo would have already had a cease and desist out as protective as they are over their IP. So I don't know. I'm waiting to see what happens to Palworld. I do want Pokemon Nintendo company, whatever, to come up and just take some elements from them, because I'm not gonna lie, recent Pokemon games have gotten a little bit like kiddified and Fisher Price. Like recently we went from saving the world as a young adult or a teenager from a legendary that was causing universal cataclysms, or at least global cataclysms, catastrophes and world disasters, to going back down to going to school and stopping the school bullies who are misunderstood because they themselves were bullied. And I'm like, nah, these have definitely gotten too kiddified with recent Pokemon games. And besides that, they have gotten a little bit formulaic when it comes to just like the general playthrough. Like, don't get me wrong, the outworld, the open world is fun when you're riding around on Koraidon, going at max speed, climbing mountains, going over the sea, flying through the air, and then that's cool. But it's like you can't do that with all your Pokemon. And then like definitely the end game feels empty because you can't go back and replay the Elite Four or play the champion battle over again. There really doesn't feel like there's any end game content like Battle Frontier or the Battle Factory or anything like that. And again, a lot of people are going to say, well, no, the Pokemon race is supposed to be your end game. We're like, no, there should be more to do in this game than just that. So Palworld, in a good thing, I hope there is a benefit to Palworld existing and that it makes the Pokemon company try harder. I feel like they definitely been getting a little bit too comfortable. Digimon has not been doing anything recently that's been earth-shaking, so they've gotten a little bit too comfortable. Digimon has not been competing with them, and I'm like, why? Because competition ends up being the best thing for fans, because then you look at what Pokemon is doing, and then, Palworld just showed up, so now Pokemon needs to ante up, and hopefully Digimon antes up. Like, oh God, please Digimon, do something. Please ante up, do something to join the fight. But that's been my feelings on the whole Pokemon Palworld situation. I do foresee them getting sued. I think it just hasn't happened yet. I don't think that Nintendo wants to do it publicly. I think because they know if they do anything to them publicly in a big way, I think they're probably trying to process what kind of backlash they would get, potentially. But that's been it, guys. Let me know how you think in the comment section down below, how you feel about the situation. See you in the next one.